not another beer review. No, no, no. What time is it? You see some ingredients in front of us? That means, damn, it's not time to homebrew either. It's time to infuse some booze. That's right. We got booze. We want flavor in it. We're making mixed drinks, or maybe we want to drink it by ourselves because we're crazy like that. One never knows. So what are we going to make today? We're going to make cinnamon infused whiskey. Now you've seen the commercial versions like Fireball out there, or you know, somebody's Decapers or whatever, cinnamon liqueur. It's basically the same thing, but it's got a whiskey bite to it, so it's most like Fireball. Now, my buddy's so fucking drunk, as you know, I did his Drambuie Depth Charge, and that's an awesome sort of depth charge kind of Boilermaker cocktail, and I'm going to do another one of his cocktails called the Irish Demon, but for that Irish Demon Depth Charge cocktail, I need cinnamon flavored whiskey. By the way, check out So Fucking Drunk 66's channel. I'll put his little info down here in the notes section. So, how do we do this? First and foremost, we got rye whiskey. Why rye whiskey? If you use bourbon or something, it'll have maybe too much of its own pronounced flavor and kick off the cinnamon that you're trying to put into it. So, we got real cinnamon sticks, and to amp up the quality, I think, of the barrel that does not exist maybe in Crown that I have here, I'm going to put a few medium toast French oak chips. You can get these at any homebrew store. This cost me $1.49 at the discount store. This was $3.99 at the homebrew store, this big bag, and I've been using this for like half a year. And this, I think a bottle of this is kind of expensive. You can use any rye whiskey that you want and accomplish the same thing. So, what we're going to do first, we're going to put our dry ingredients in first. That's easiest. We got some French oak chips. We don't need a whole lot of them. These are quite intense, especially at medium roast level. And I just put up enough in the bottom of my mason jar here. This is one of the things you'll need, by the way, the mason jar. I put enough in the bottom of the mason jar just to cover the bottom, because that's going to be plenty. It's got a lot more flavor than you think. There's plenty of tannins and char in there. Next, we're going to get our cinnamon sticks. Pull our seal off. I think for this, because we want strong flavor, we're going to want 5 cinnamon sticks. So, we're going to take these, and if you can, because they're hard as hell, you break them in half. They're stronger than you think, because they're rolled sort of like laminated almost. Man, I can feel the cinnamon really busting out of these. Alright, so, we got wood chips and cinnamon. So basically, we got a jar full of wood right now. So, get our whiskey, and we're going to cover this stuff up. Let's see, how much cinnamon whiskey do we want? I think we want the rest of our bottle worth of cinnamon whiskey, don't we? Gotta like that. So, that's probably, let me see, I'll tell you right on the side because we got measurements. Without the wood, it's telling me it's, let's see, it's almost 3/4 of a cup, so it's probably a half a cup of whiskey in there. You can put more in if you wish, if you don't want it as intense of a flavor. I think I've got another bottle of this. I might top it off a little bit more. So, basically, when we're done that, put the lid on, give it a shake, and every few days you give it a shake. Now, I sanitize my jar before I put it in there. I use home brewing sanitizer, Star San. You can also boil it like you would in a normal jar. Yeah, I know it's alcohol, you don't have to do it, but why take the risk? Just go the extra step, takes a few seconds, boom, you're done. So, I'll take pictures along showing how the progression of this is. This is going to get darker and just beautiful and cinnamon yummy. So, be back with some photos, and when I give it a taste, we'll tell you what it's about, and you'll see video of me probably in about 2 weeks. Be back in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back. It's time to filter out another one of our infusions, and this time it's our oaked cinnamon whiskey. Now, you can see by this jar, it's quite a bit darker than when you last saw it. You could see through the liquid, you could see the cinnamon sticks and medium toast French oak chips in there, and this is straight up black now. Actually, it's not. It's really, really, really dark red with like brown hints to it, I guess, but when you shake this, no light comes through it, and even before you shake it, nothing comes through it. So we got some real simple implements. Everything's been sanitized ahead of time, like always. You don't have to do that because it's, you know, higher proof alcohol or higher percentage alcohol. But you know what? It's better safe than sorry. Everything you see here has been sanitized, including the cutting boards. So we've got our jar. We have our jar or canning funnel already set up, and we have our number 4 coffee filter. And this time, because there's a lot of oak chips and cinnamon sticks in here, I'm going to pass it first through this tea filter or sieve first. Okay, so get the top popped. Let's see. Oh, nice pop. Hasn't been open for a really long time. Now, oh wow, I can smell the cinnamon hit me from back here. When we last saw each other, I said 2 to 3 weeks. However, 2 to 3 weeks didn't happen. This has been 4 months in the jar, so we're going to have really strong cinnamon taste. We're going to have really strong, like, wood and tannic and everything going on in here. I don't think we're going to have to worry about tannins, because the smell of the cinnamon I can smell all the way from here without even getting anywhere near the jar. So this is going to be like Fireball cubed, you know? So let's get started, and it's real easy. Like I say, we'll put our sieve up here, and we just start pouring. So I'm going to let that go a little bit at a time. I'll spare you this joy, and I'll be back when I'm done my first filter through. Hi guys, I'm back. I thought you might like to see a little bit of this process. As you can see it dripping into the jar, it's really slow as it goes through the filter. There's a ton of cinnamon oil in this, and it's really thick when it's coming through that filter almost. And if you see, you look real close there, the color of this stuff, like I said, is straight up red. And when it's dripping down, you can see the red tinges on the side of the jar as it's filtering through. But the smell of this stuff is totally freaking awesome. It's so much more cinnamon than Fireball, you can't even believe it. But anyways, we'll be back when this is done. Okay guys, I'm back. Filtering's finally done on this stuff. And if you see here, we've got a lovely jar of what looks like, probably on the camera too, black liquid. If you look at it in the light when you pour it in a small glass like I have here in the shot glass, it's actually a red liquid. It's kind of like looking through a strong porter, how those throw a lot of ruby hints a lot of times. That's what this looks like. Let's get a nose on this and see what it smells like after we've done our infusion and filtering. Huge cinnamon, the whiskey aroma is there, vanilla, oak, good bit of char. Man, it smells lovely. Of course, it's real alcohol smelling, astringent smelling, because it's a spirit. So it's not going to be like a beer where you don't smell the alcohol and all that. Let's get a taste on it and see what it's like. Wow. It actually has a dry finish. The whiskey's big there still. It's like improved Canadian whiskey now, because it's got that vanilla in it. But it's super cinnamony. This is perfect for mixed drinks. I don't know if I would sip this alone. If you're going to sip this alone, you want to cut it, or maybe put a little bit of simple syrup in here and make it sort of a liqueur of, like, I guess, cinnamon whiskey, because this is really intense. It's probably double or triple the intensity of Fireball. If you would want to make Fireball with this, you could probably do a 4-to-1 mix, one part being this and 4 parts being like regular whiskey. And you would have like the current Fireball. But man, the flavors are all here, and for mixed drinks, a little bit of this stuff is going to go a really long way. So here you have it, cinnamon infused whiskey. Give it a go if you're of that sort of bent or nature, and I think you'll enjoy it. So until the next DJs BrewTube Infusion the Booze how-to. Yeah, think globally, drink locally, support the craft beer movement, all that kind of stuff, or maybe the craft spirit movement. And that's a big damn. Thanks a million, and peace out! Hey guys, I'm back. A few days have passed, and I've been drinking on this cinnamon whiskey here, and I decided that the cinnamon flavor itself is super intense in this, and I like it, but if I'm going to make mixed drinks for other folks with it, I'm going to have to cut it down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I've got my little nipper bottle here. We've got our crown, we've got our funnel, and our cinnamon whiskey. This is almost like cinnamon whiskey concentrate, because I've mistakenly, or whatever happened, left it in the bottle for as many months as I did. So take our crown here, pour it in, and we're going to take that about, I'd say that's about 70% of the bottle there. Now we're going to take our super cinnamon whiskey here, and we're going to pour it in, top it off. Boom. As you can see, it's nearly the same. It's nearly a full shade, pretty much a full shade lighter than it was than this. If you take a look at it, you can see through this now. And this one is totally black and opaque like devil's blood. I think that's maybe what I'll call this, my devil's blood cinnamon whiskey concentrate. So, we'll give this a bit of a shake. Put it all nice and together. Now, open it up and get a little bit in a glass here and see what it tastes like. Got a shot glass. Let's see. There we go. Okay. It's about, let me see here, 70% less intense than this is. This is really intense vanilla, really intense wood, and really, really intense cinnamon. This has got this blended whiskey character, a little more to it. A lot less cinnamon aroma, but the wood and the oak presence is there. Let's get a taste of it. A lot more mellow, but still really pronounced cinnamon, way bigger than Fireball. But I think that'll be a lot nicer for a mixed drink. So, if you brew it up or mature it up this strong, you may want to cut it with some of your remaining original Canadian Blended Whisky. I'm using Crown. Mix it all up, cut it down, and you're ready to make some mixed drinks. So till the next DJs BrewTube, I don't know, infusing the booze how to. We'll see you then. Peace out.